This is the story of the year 1897, when a Russian ship, Demeter, was going to London with a secret box. 9 crew members were on board, but they did not know that this was going to be the last journey of their lives. They had begun their journey on July 6th, but a month later, on August 6th, the ship was swept away by a terrible storm and reached the port of Whitby in England. The ship was completely destroyed. No one knew how many people were on board this mysterious ship and what happened to them. A coast guard from Whitby went to find out about the ship, but when he returned, he lost his senses. He had a captain's logbook, in which he wrote down all the events that took place during the journey. An English police officer who came to investigate begins to read the logbook. And this is how the story goes into the flashback 4 weeks later, where we can see that some carts are going to the port of Bulgaria with a lot of boxes. This was the same box that was going to London by loading on Demeter. All these carts were going to take this box to London. But their leader changes his mind when he sees a cursed dragon image on the box, and returns the money to deliver the box, which reduces the number of people working on the ship during the journey. Demeter's captain, Elliot, sends his co-captain, Wojciech, to complete it. Some people were gambling here. Then a man comes and says that Demeter is looking for some people to go to England. The next moment, these people reach the place where Demeter's co-captain, Wojciech, was choosing strong people. Everyone was going to get equal gold for this job. One of them, a well-educated man named Clemens, also wanted to go to England. He shows his ability that he is not only a doctor but also an astrologer. That is, even if the compass of the ship breaks, he can send the ship to England through the stars. Still, he is not taken, and Wojciech starts to choose some strong laborers to load the boxes. Here, Clemens was saddened to see the boxes being loaded on Demeter. Then a laborer's eyes fall on the image of the cursed dragon on the box. He loses his consciousness and the rope slips from his hands. Under the same box, the grandson of the captain, Toby, was playing. Before the box falls on him, Clemens runs and saves him. The captain immediately orders the man to be caught. The man says that this thing is cursed, he should have told him earlier. Maybe he knew some secret about the dragon image that he did not know. Out of fear, he leaves the job. The captain gives a chance to Clemens instead, because he saved his grandson's life. After everything is set, the ship sets out on its journey. After a while, Toby shows the whole ship to Clemens. Inside, he meets Toby's dog, Hawk, whom he loved dearly. Here, along with the box, there were some animals that these people were going to eat during the journey. At dinner time, everyone gathers. There were 2 captains, a cook, for workers, Toby and Clemens. After dinner, the captain tells Wojciech that this journey is going to be his last journey as a captain. He will spend the rest of his life with Toby and his daughter in his village. As soon as he reaches London, he will be Demeter's captain. Wojciech gets emotional when he hears this, because it had been his dream to become a captain for years. Suddenly, the animals start screaming. Toby and Clemens immediately go to check. They find out that a box has broken. When he peeps inside, he goes crazy. There was an unconscious girl inside. Who was this girl? And how did she come here? Everyone had the same kind of questions. Wojciech tells that because of the lack of money, such people hide on the ship and travel. It is inauspicious for a girl to be on a ship. Everyone wanted to throw her off the ship, but Clemens wanted to save her, in which he gives her 7 cups of ton. The girl's body was infected. To fight the infection, she needed blood. Clemens immediately gives her his blood. Clemens and Algren were on the duty deck at night. He was running around with binoculars. Then he sees a demon. Seeing him, his condition worsened. He tells this to Clemens. But Clemens did not believe in ghosts. That's why he doesn't take his words seriously. At the same time, the demon goes down and picks up the hawk. The next morning, the cook goes down to pick up an animal to make meat. He sees that all the animals are dead. There were signs of cutting on their necks. No one could understand how all this happened. Some believed that this was the work of this girl, but she was not even in her senses. At the same time, the repeater felt that this was the work of Clemens, because such an incident had never happened on this ship before. Hearing this, Clemens was about to fight him, but the captain calmed everyone down. Toby was very sad about the death of the hawk. Clemens somehow convinced him and cheered him up. The next night was the duty of the repeater on the deck. It had just been a while when he heard someone moaning in the corner. He went there and saw that a strange-looking creature was lying down. As soon as he goes near, he attacks the repeater one by one and drinks his blood. Everyone was worried about such deaths on the ship. First the animals and now their crew was also killed. No one could understand what was going on. By this time, the girl Anna had regained consciousness. She was screaming in fear that he would kill everyone. Clemens takes care of her. He takes her inside and asks her, "What do you know and what are you talking about?" She tells him that the devil drank the blood of the children of her village and killed them. She was also a fan of him. Before the devil attacks again, we should get down to a nearby port. But Clemens finds it a rumor. The same night, she was on the duty deck of Algren and Larsen. As soon as someone moans and the sound of a chest breaking begins to come. Actually, the devil used to hide in these chests during the day, because his body can't stand the sun. As soon as the sun shines on his body, he will burn to death. That's why he used to go out only at night to satisfy his hunger. And after hunting a few, he used to hide back in a chest. Larsen hears the sound and goes to see him. The next moment, the devil suddenly attacks him, hits him on the head and starts licking his blood. Seeing this, Algren's head comes into his hands. He gets scared and climbs on the deck to save himself. There was no one on the deck to control the ship wheel. That's why the ship started wavering in the storm, which woke everyone up. They run to the deck, but Larsen and Algren were both missing. First, they hold the ship wheel and save the ship from turning. Then they start looking for them. In the meantime, blood drips on Toby's shoulder. Algren was hanging upside down. They immediately get him down. As soon as he comes to his senses, he comes out of himself. These people somehow control him and tie him to the table. After that, the claimants start treating him. He had the same scar on his neck as Peter and the other animals. This clearly shows that whoever they are killing everyone in the same way. The next morning, these people search the ship, but they can't find any clue because he used to hide in the chest. Here, Algren was unconscious all day, but as the evening came, he started changing. On the deck, everyone was talking about the incidents that were happening on the ship. Here, Algren had become so strong that he could easily break such a thick rope. Unfortunately, Toby was heading towards him. He was very happy to see Mr. Algren, but as soon as he got closer, he grabbed Toby and pulled him with the help of his jacket. Toby was also smart. He immediately took out his jacket and ran away. He locked himself in a room. His eyes were white, and his heart was beating at a speed of 142. He took a knife in his hand and pleaded to the door, saying, "Mr. Algren, please go away. I am scared." After a few seconds of silence, he suddenly broke the door. Here, his meeting was not about to end, when he heard the sound of knocking from under his deck. It was Toby, who was beating on the beam of wood. Clemens and the rest of the people were running towards him. Algren was about to break the door and open it, but he moved back at the right time because he realized that his father was inside. The devil saw Toby in a moment and disappeared. By then, Clemens had come out of the room. He saw Algren and attacked him as soon as he got some time. The rest of the people had come from behind, who saved Clemens and caught Algren. The rest of the people shouted for Toby to open the door, but one by one, everyone stopped talking because the killer everyone was looking for, he was now in front of them. As soon as he was out of sight, everyone's worries increased, because Toby was also inside. The devil slowly walked on the ceiling, grabbed Toby and started drinking his blood. To save him, Anna shot everyone, shot the locker and opened the door. It was too late by then. Toby was lying unconscious on the floor. Seeing his condition, his grandfather's heart was broken. Everyone was desperate, because Toby was loved by everyone, who was now struggling between life and death. Clemens tried his best. 25 days of the journey had passed by. In 5 or 6 days, the ship was about to reach London. They tied Algren to the deck and were trying to understand him. But as soon as the sun's rays fell on him, his body was covered with water. No one could understand what had happened to him. Anna told them that the devil's wrath had been tormented by the people of her village for years. When there was no one left to quench his thirst for blood in the village, he was going to London. If he reached London, his curse would begin there as well. Clemens said that it would take 5 days to reach London. Before that, we would have to kill him. They checked the box again and again, but found nothing but dirt inside. There was a box that looked different from the others. When it was opened, they found a stick of the devil inside, which confirmed that he was sleeping inside the box during the day. On the other side, the cook was planning to run away with a lifeboat, but no one would listen to him. So, to save his life, he left alone with the lifeboat. Still, he could not save his life. He also became a victim of the plague. Toby was also dead. The next morning, he was about to be handed over to the sea. Suddenly, the captain felt that something was wrong with his body. The captain checked his body, and it had changed. As soon as the sun rose, his body was covered in water. Clemens immediately pushed him into the sea. In this incident, half of the captain's face was washed away. Now, there was only one day left to reach London. Everyone was telling different ways to kill that devil. Anna says that this ship will be drowned here. Along with the ship, he will also drown and die, on which Wojciech gets angry because the ship was his home. The next morning, everyone prepares a trap to trap the devil. They close all the paths under the deck and leave only one path open. In the evening, everyone was armed with weapons. Suddenly, he comes flying and picks up one of them. Wojciech also fell into one of his attacks and was injured. No signs of survival could be seen. He was still behind him. Wojciech ran away and locked himself in a room. He put his hand on his beloved ship and said to his eyes, "Forgive me." There was no way out. He started cutting the ship with an axe. That's when the devil came from behind and drank Wojciech's blood. By the time Clemens reached here, he was dead. On the other hand, the captain was handling the ship's wheel in the storm. He also killed him and tied him to the wheel. Now, only Clemens and Anna were left on the ship. Clemens challenges him to come forward. The next moment, he comes forward, after which there is a fight between the two. He was about to kill Clemens. That's when Anna shoots him from behind. In anger, he grabs Anna's neck and starts drinking her blood. Clemens attacks him with an axe and Anna escapes. And these people cut the ship's center pole and jump down, in which he drowns. With the help of a broken lifeboat, they come out of the water. On the other hand, as soon as the ship collided with the ship named Whitby in England, the devil was freed. Anna also started changing after being cut by the axe. And as soon as the morning light fell on her, she also burnt to ashes. In the next scene, we see that Clemens has reached London. Along with him, there was also a devil who is now living among the people in the guise of a man. That means a new story will begin from here.